soul shares. Happy new moon in Gemini. Eee. I hope that you guys are feeling good. I am. Gemini is, and you'll notice I'm already talking really fast today. I can feel myself being very fast. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the very, very fast Mercury. Mythologically, Mercury was like the fastest of the gods or the demigods. He was the messenger. Mercury is closest to the sun, so it rotates, around faster than we do. So Mercury is very fast. Gemini is a mutable air sign. It's a masculine sign. It's associated with the sword suit, the mental realm, the intellectual realm of ideas and thoughts and words and communication. And so it includes like travel and media and writing and creativity and making films and communicating messages out into the world. So all of those things are very highlighted right now. Gemini is also like, not only is it communicative, it's very intelligent. It looks for intelligent stimulation. It looks for, it's very quick-witted, so it likes being around like quick-witted company. It's curious, it's exploratory, but it is very quick, very astute, and very focused. It can also be kind of unfocused. So like Gemini has the quality of the twins. So much like Libra, this is like kind of like a common theme with the air signs, at least Gemini and Libra, because they're the first of the signs. By the time you get to Aquarius, Aquarius is the fully evolved version of the air element associated signs. So Gemini hasn't come to the reflection of Libra yet to be able to be harmonious and see both sides. Gemini is still at the beginning of this energy, and so there's sort of like this inner conflict with the Gemini that is sort of at war with themselves. So in a challenging way, so when we have these new moon workshops, well, not just the workshops, but the new moons, we have an ability to like connect and draw from the gifts of the sign that the new moon is associated with throughout the month, and use that as an energy that helps our soul's development and the balancing out of our virtues and vices. It's also exposing us to the challenges of each of those signs. And so as we overcome the challenges, that's how we unlock the powers that are associated with that sign. So yes, we're gonna be feeling very social, very adventurous, and that's great. You might want to, you might feel like there's a project that you've been working on that you want to hone down on. I know like for me, I've got like writing all the time, I've got content creation all the time, and I've been really feeling like all of the energy, like refocusing my intention and my attention, which is great. And I think that's what we need right now. So yes, this year, generally speaking, 2023, is that year of the initiation. We are sort of being rebirthed into this up-leveled version of self if we are doing the work. And so 2022 cleared the ground of anything that wasn't authentic or wasn't really in alignment with our future direction. It wasn't supporting our growth or our expansion. If you were behind in that, then you probably just caught up over eclipse season and you had big like apocalyptic tribulation moments that sort of made things aware that were holding you back, or like exposed like false structure, like structures that didn't have integrity, or faulty foundations, right? Faulty systems, faulty relationships, unhealthy patterns, like all of those things were really shaken up in eclipse season. So what I picked up on throughout this year is that it's like every month it seems like we're having these different stages of initiation. We're being rebirthed, we're awakening. So it's like this year we're sort of in our infancy. So it's like each month it's almost like that, these astrological influences and the lunations each month are sort of like honing in on, okay, this part of our system is go. And earlier I had been given a vision of like the rocket on the launch pad at NASA. And when system control, is that what they're called? The whatever, people that are hanging out in like the big screens and computer rooms. They are communicating with the astronauts, but the rocket ship doesn't just launch off. There's stages of things that are turned on in certain orders, right? It's like, turn on this, turn on that, these engines, these thruster, or whatever, you know, gets the systems all going, but there's an order to it. Even building lights in film, depending on what kind of light it was, and the housings and the cables and the ballasts involved, you may have had to like plug them in and turn them on in different stages so that the electrical current would flow properly. So this year, it's like we're just being activated in stages. And so now Mercury is activating, you know, how we communicate with people, and you know, in our life, and how we express ourselves. You know, our ideas might be changing or expanding, or the way that we think about things. We're being, you know, we're mutable, so that's, you know, we're malleable right now, which is great. You know, infants they absorb, and they're taking it all in, and they're growing, and they're changing at a rapid rate because they're so open and so receptive, and there's like they're a blank slate. So yeah, great time for communication and conversations and discussions, being inquisitive. Mercury is in its home sign of Gemini, so all of these things will be very supported and enhanced. Now's a good time to have conversations that you've been wanting to have and things like that, because communication is really supported right now. But also, as part of that initiation stage, it's up to us to now think about the person that we're trying to become and the life that we're trying to build. It's like, okay, now I have to show up as that person. How would that person communicate in each different situation that you're in your life? You know, how would this person think about this? You know, what would a you know, a more adjusted or expanded or elevated or conscious version of self, how would they see the situation? So we're integrating those, but it takes us realizing and then taking action in a different way than we have before. And it's just like a step-by-step, like case-by-case, you know, process that just builds over time until this is like what your new normal is. Jupiter is going to be in Taurus for the next year. Jupiter is very expansive and fortunate and lucky. So this is great. It's going to be expanding all the Taurus themes of Venus, of beauty, of intimacy, of relationship and love and abundance and security and beauty and your aesthetics and what you surround yourself with, you know, that makes you feel like at home and like in a sensual way. Like the things that you see and incorporate around you, and the smells and the flavors and the tastes, and what makes you feel inspired and tuned in and tapped in and turned on. How are you making your bread in this life? Are you living in your purpose? And do those you know, do those have cross sections or intersect, or are they parallel, right? Do you have to juggle both? The thing is that Jupiter can also expand anything that is a weakness or out of control or negative as well. It can expand your temper. Can expand your sense of hedonism, and you can be overindulgent or overspend. We do need to learn how to balance, like putting in effort and then relaxing, because Taurus is good at taking time to rest, but Taurus can also get a little bit too stationary and even be like stubborn or lazy. And so we want to be careful about and intentional about what we are having Jupiter expand. And so that's going to be how we show up, behave, and how we're acting, and the way that we're thinking. It's like, what are you giving Jupiter to expand? Let's see, expands both for good and bad. So be careful that it doesn't amplify bad habits or bad behaviors. Taurus is stable and sturdy and enduring. It's a solid, long-term, earthy energy as well. So I think that we're grounding in our values, we're expanding upon that, and we're now like able to start communicating to ourselves and clearly like get these ideas out that we want for ourselves. Clearly communicate to the universe what it is that we desire, the vision that we have for our life, right? Because in order to get that, to call it in, we have to call it in. We have to be able to communicate it. You know, there's been so many times that I want something from the universe, but I'm not even sure how to verbalize exactly what it is that I want. So now's a good time to get really clear so that you can put into words what you want to do. You know, we don't always have like assignments for these lunations, but definitely today and over the next couple of days, get reflective about what it is that you are wanting to create, particularly over the next month, over the next 2 weeks during the waxing cycle. But then in 6 months from now, like there's going to be some kind of culmination to what you're putting your intentions into right now. So this is for seed planting. So think about it, write it out in a journal, do some automatic writing about what it is that you intend to call in. And then I want you to start talking out loud to the Creator about it. And you will suggest that this is what I desire and just go off and wax on about it and be honest and truthful and get that feeling state. But also tell the Creator, look, I've surrendered. I don't know what's best for me. I only have a limited view of what is ahead and around and context and perspective. And so ultimately I trust that my divine path is going to be like, give me the ultimate fulfillment and the ultimate, you know, happiness and, you know, align with my purpose in this life and my soul's, you know, journey. So I can trust and let go, and I can say, hey, this is what I want. I'm willing to let go of like my ideas about how that has to happen and what it exactly needs to look like, and just trust that what I ultimately want and what's best for me will be delivered. And then, you know, in your prayer with Amen, it's good to, like, you must say this prayer out loud. That's the most powerful part, is using your divine inheritance power of speech, right? In the creation legend, myth, story, poem, however you want to look at it, Creator spoke creation into being. Let there be light. Creator told Moses to tell the rock to produce water, not strike it with his staff. And Moses struck it with the staff, and God was like, I didn't tell you to strike it with your staff because I want you to know that you don't even have to lift a finger. You will speak creation into being like I did. We are not, it is only the lower human that has to put hand to toil, to make and break bread. You know what I mean? To break that wheat down, to go through this process. So that's how we start to claim our sovereignty, is to understand how powerful our words are. Mercury is square to Saturn. And so this is sort of like pump the brakes energy, where Mercury's like, yeah, let's do this. Oh my God, that looks good over there. Oh my God, there's so much that I'm like, I'm not good at all. I'm like, you know, every shiny object syndrome because of the excitement and the fastness and the curiosity and the enthusiasm. But Saturn is like, slow down. Where are you going with this? What's the most important things to focus on here? Let's get some focus and some discipline and some structure so that it actually, all this effort and power and energy goes into something that can be generated, right? Gasoline is gasoline. If you're throwing it all over the yard, it's not gonna give you the same, effect as if you're putting it into a gas tank, right? So don't spray your gasoline everywhere, put it into a tank. So yes, Saturn is like, whoa, hoss, slow your roll, get focused, think things through with intention. Where do we need better habits and routines? And then take action on those ideas. I know that for me recently, I haven't been quite as like focused and motivated and structured as I normally am. And there's so many reasons why that is, just in the ethers, and then all of us, like our transformations are going on, and we're just sort of recalibrating, and we're sort of in like the nebula fog was one of the messages from this week. It's like it does feel foggy, but there are like, it's like this cooling and contracting to like calm down after a lot of activity that is creating heat and catalytic things that are prompting like evolution and change. But there needs to be rhythm, right? What we were talking about earlier is we're trying to learn the balance of planting seeds and letting them sit and letting them grow and then letting the land lie fallow. And you know, there's rhythms of effort and then rest, effort and rest. So yes, we are bringing balance to those things. We're getting more motivated. We're getting more clear about how we want to focus in and like direct our energy. Mars and Venus are in Leo. And so remember how Mars was in Cancer and like all of our drive was like sort of watered down. And we were just going through so much emotional like baggage. Well, so then now Mars has moved into Leo, which is a fire sign. So it's drying out all of that emotion. Like in the nebula, it's like there's cooling and there's moisture happening, but at the same time, there's these little like fires going off and little bursts of explosions happening that are creating sparks that are fueling like the molecular formations that will at some point become stars and meteorites and planets and things. So that is also going on within us. Mars and Venus together in Leo is bringing balance into our relationships, right? We're figuring out what is required for us to feel like we have an equal give and take, an equal giving and receiving, and a balance of the masculine energies and the feminine energies within each of us. And so when we balance those divine masculine and feminine energies within us, then we are in more resonance with drawing in someone who's also has that kind of same frequency. So the more we align in that way, the better the frequency of the things that we will call in and attract. Let's see, if Mars is the fire sign that initiates, oh, okay, I know what I was saying here. So Aries is the fire sign that initiates. It's the baby of the zodiac, but it's also the youngest sign out of the fire signs. So the baby, Aries, like is got all that starter energy of spring and fire and passion and like young, dumb, full of cum energy kind of thing. No regard for consequences, just very impulsive, which is great. You need that to take the leap. But Mars going into, so we have that Aries influence with Mars combining with Venus, love, money, our purpose and the way we make bread and security. And so we're taking all of that into Leo. And Leo is fiery and motivated, but also like devoted, leader, focused, like prideful, like the lion that like leads the pride. They take charge, they know what to do. They know what to do with all this energy because they're slightly more mature than the Aries energy. So we're combining this inspiration now with some sort of directed energy and focus into, okay, like I know what I want to be devoting my energy into now. I know what I want Jupiter expanding. I know that like I want to focus in on my goals and find ways to really show up and create them and adjust where I need to as I go, so that I am not following the stagnant plan that's not working, but it's mutable. It can be readjusted. It's alive. Yes, so Leo is how we follow through and commit. So it's integrating our new consciousness in the way that we show up in our relationships and and with our commitments with others, but also to our relationship with ourselves and our commitment to ourselves and our purpose and our goals and our own transformation. Venus will go retrograde in Leo, which will cause us to ask ourselves who and what we are loyal and committed to and why. And this will be happening, I think, on the 19th or over the next couple of days. So yeah, right now it's like it's just this natural progression of, okay, all right, now that we're feeling a little bit like more back to ourselves and in our own skin, all right, let's get focused. What are we doing? What are we doing, people? Where are we? What are we doing here? Where are we going? Right? How do I want to show up now as I work with people to create the life that I want next? who am I as a person these days? What am I becoming and what am I trying to build? And so what do I need to do and be, and how do I need to communicate and think in order to have and be and live in that life that I want? Okay, let us do our reading. I have a timer set. I've got to go to work this afternoon, and I thought I had 15 extra minutes, and then I got a last minute text that we had to go in early for Father's Day. So that's cool. Or we don't have to go in early, but we're opening early. I usually need every second that I have to get ready. Okay, so we're going to start with a straightforward oracle, my own custom deck, and we're going to do a Celtic cross, and then we will get a little bit of variety and detail and clarification from our oracle cards. And you guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and like this video, and if you hate it, then you can take back the like later if you feel like it. And yeah, comment, subscribe, share, all the things. Leave me an emoji if you don't know what to say. You can just leave a new moon in Taurus symbol. But anything that you do is going to help the videos get out to other people so they can get these messages too through synchronicity and the algorithm. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Also, thank you to anyone who's ever graced me with a donation to the channel. It just means so much. It's so moving. And it also, while I'm thinking of it, if you guys have ever heard me talking about To Be Magnetic, that's kind of some of the other personal development work that I do on myself. I'm not a coach with them, but I have manifested an affiliate program with them, and so now I'm an affiliate. So if you've ever been thinking about signing up for that, you can do so underneath any of my videos from recent weeks. All right, cool. Enough business. Let's get to it. So in the context of this moment where we're in right now, we're dealing with or learning about controlling our state of effect consciousness. The goal is to be in a state of cause consciousness, and that will give us affinity with the light of the Creator. So cause consciousness is being able to be stable within the self, and what's going on around you doesn't shake you. It doesn't shake your core. You're just like, yep, I'm unchanged, I'm unmoved. Like, it doesn't mean that you're cold or that you don't react. It just means that within what you feel, you're not going to blow a gasket or do something in a panic or whatever. Or even let something, say, ruin your day, right? That's in a state of effect consciousness. So right now we may be challenged to push through that state of effect consciousness. Effect consciousness is when things happen and we get either so afraid or so anxious or so excited or so whatever, fill in the blank, that we act impulsively with no intention or no awareness or consciousness of our action. And so this is reactive behavior. When something happens, when life changes, when I see the circumstances, I react based on the circumstances. Instead of saying, okay, I see what's going on here, but I'm still going to follow my inner guidance and intuition and act on that because I'm certain that the Creator can twist anything into my favor if I really have a relaxed trust and certainty about it. And I understand that the universe works in mysterious ways, and that things can be moved and parts can be moved, and anything can fall into place if I want it to. Anything can be turned around to exalt me in a situation that was against me moments ago. But it takes certainty. And so certainty transcends logic. It doesn't mean that you're in denial. It doesn't mean that you're not a logical, rational, reasonable person. But you're like, yeah, I know, but I also know that I've seen miracles and I believe in them. And the more I just take them as like, yeah, that's the natural state, then that I'm more in the flow of cause consciousness and not effect consciousness. When we're in effect consciousness, we have a tendency to act from our subconscious patterning rather than from an up-leveled state of like consciousness where we can choose with our free will how we want to move and act and live and have our being. But in order to do that, we just have to have self-control, to slow down, to be able to pause. It's like you really can't have any of the other fruits of the spirit without self-control. because they'll all just like go out the window as soon as you have low willpower. Keep the love tank full. Okay, so love languages: show your love, taking care of each other, give yourself to your partner. Oh, give of yourself to your partner. Do something thoughtful for your partner. Okay, so I think I might have another one of these cards that talks about keeping your own love tank full, but this specifically is talking about keeping the love tank full, interacting and giving and showing as much as you're expecting for yourself. Although I will say that along with this concept, we should always know and learn how to keep our own love tank full so that we are not in a state of affect consciousness because our love tank is so empty that we feel, grasping and needy for things, right? Everything begins at the seed level of consciousness. We must never plant seeds from a consciousness of neediness, from fear, lack, or doubt, from reactiveness or our lazy desire to appease the body consciousness and reach for instant gratification and receive for the self alone. But rather, we need to plant seeds from a place of wholeness, certainty, and sharing. Because our cup runneth over, because we have light to share and give, because we have prepared ourselves to be a vessel for sharing, able to plant seeds of building, giving, sharing, rather than planting seeds from needing. That's a little bit hard to read there. I don't know if that's what it says. Rather than planting seeds from needing, expectations, and hunger. Before we look outside of ourselves for the expression of love, we must first learn how to keep our own love tank full so that we are overflowing, not needy of another who we give our power away to. Right? If you're needing someone for their love juice, to get your love tank full, then you're giving your power away to them. So the only way that you can safely, exchange love tanks is, we're all working on this. Nobody's perfect, right? Everyone has their stuff. But we want to make sure that we know that we need to be taking care of our own needs and not expecting everyone else to meet them, especially out of the context of, who they are to you, right? So many people who are overgivers, they get really mad at their friends and their family and their lovers and their coworkers and their bosses and things because they show up and they give and they give and they give and they just expect everybody else to be exactly the same and match their energy. When really, it's like you're projecting that expectation onto others and you don't have to be that way either. So start by self-love, figuring out your boundaries and your priorities and getting that love tank full. But then also when it is, don't be afraid to hold back, right? If you're not feeling needy, then give, share the love, right? The problem with relationships mostly today is that everyone's trying to hold something back. Everyone wants the power. Everyone's trying to take the power. And it's not an empowered place because you're giving that person all the power. Because in order to feel empowered, you have to be in this power struggle. What if you just put down the freaking tug of war rope and did something else? You know what I mean? So yeah, keep your love tank full. Share, be in a spirit of sharing that love with others. And don't look to others to be your gas tank, your gas pump. Okay. So underneath this will be the subconscious influence in the situation. Whoa. Okay, better left unsaid. At risk of a misunderstanding, words falling on deaf ears, this will cost something. Consider if what you want to say is constructive or destructive. So be in a state of, you got to check yourself when you want to communicate something. With all this Gemini energy, you might also, in Jupiter's influence, you may be tempted to over-communicate. Remember, keeping love tank full, not projecting expectations and communicating things that are better left unsaid. And that's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Things are better left unsaid. It's call it all quits, burn it all down. It's just like, some things are like, you know, you don't have to speak everything. Some things can be unspoken, you know, it adds to it, but it also prevents, like, there's a, I don't know whether it's a Bible verse, but where words are many, where words are many, evil is thereof. So it's like, if you're just running the mouth and, you know, over talking, you could overexpose things that would, you know, maybe you don't need to overexpose, or you might say things or overindulge or not get the truth across because it was then murkied up by like over talking about it, or I don't know, talking about something before it's a good time to, and then maybe like saving a conversation for later. But whatever it is, just know, like, be discerning about the things that you talk about right now, because whatever is coming up that you want to say, it could just be something that's your own limiting belief in your subconscious, and it may actually throw a wrench in what you're doing. So also, loose lips sink ships. So if you have a project or an idea that you're working on, sometimes you can actually lose a lot of the momentum and energy by wasting your high on talking about it. And so then you get all the satisfaction and excitement from just like talking about it with everyone, and then you're not taking action. Whereas like you can take all of that steam and put it into actually doing the thing and talking about it later after it's already safely underway. Because other people can sort of like poo-poo your woo-woo too. All right, so what is okay, so the issue from the past that's clearing up, oh my God, it's Father's Day. This is an issue that's like a lesson from the past that is still sort of like lingering right now, but it's not, it's almost done, right? It's clearing up. It's not going to be affecting you much longer. So it is, you're in scarcity mode. This is a father issue to overcome. So it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Father healing. I think that father healing came up within the last couple of weeks in our romance reading. But a father wound could be giving you a low self-worth, or causing you to doubt yourself, or doubt that you are worthy or adequate, or that your needs matter. You know, you might have just had like an aloof, detached father, and so it could have made you question your value and your worth. And so right now, anything that's like, oh, this is triggering my subconscious things, it's better left unsaid, go look at your father wounds and make the connections there, because then you'll see, oh, that's what's motivating me to be triggered in the first place, and there may not be anything to be upset over. Okay, what is crowning us now? This is what has potential to come to pass. Okay, a lesson you're meant to repeat. Okay, so natural cycles, growth, going deeper, next level, everything is fine. You're meant to learn something from this. So yeah, we've been like in a moment where it feels like things are about to enter our life, or they kind of are, but we're like, what is this? What's happening? Is this a lesson that's a pattern that I'm supposed to avoid? Or is this like the workbook for the next stretch? Like, is this the assignment from headquarters? Like, is this what they want us to do? Or is this something that it's like, this is a trap? So yeah, if you've been wondering, like going back and forth, like Gemini, about something like this, then yeah, if it feels a little larger than life right now, maybe it is. But we're being assigned to something right now. So if it feels like there's some sort of extra weight or energy around something that you're just like, this feels like significant, but I don't know, or I feel like something big is coming and I don't know what it is. It's just like, just know that this is part of the lesson. This is part of the journey for the next level of unfoldment. And what the duration or the context or the intensity of that lesson, who knows, right? But there is an experience that is happening or coming that is part of your path, even if it's confusing. Okay, so what lies immediately ahead? What's right around the corner? This is from the ego. So yeah, the ego is going to be up to its own tricks. It's going to be confusing, and that's why, like, what's crowning is that, yeah, there's an assignment coming, and it's going to poke at your ego. And this is about integrating your ego in a healthy way and not denying it completely. We are going through ego death, but we're also going through ego rebirth. So the ego is up to its usual tricks. How are you being triggered by fear, lack, or doubt? How are you being triggered? Scarcity mode related to father wounds, right? Causing the subconscious limiting beliefs and patterns to be triggered and default settings that we're learning to transcend. So what this tells me is that if you're in a situation right now that's triggering your ego patterns and your scarcity and your father wounds or whatever that you may be carrying around that's still triggering your subconscious, so many times we're like, oh, this is red flags. This means that I should avoid the situation. But this actually is probing you just a little bit like acupuncture, and it's part of the lesson. It's to integrate the new self, and so you have to be pushed up against, right? This is why, we can only get so far in our personal healing and development without, as a single person, because like your friends can trigger you some and your family can trigger you some, and it takes other people around that are rubbing against your edges. But nobody triggers you more than, say, like a person who is like a soulmate contract. And that can come in the form of a romantic relationship. It can be a friendship. It can be a coworker. It can be a family member. But either way, it'll be like more intense than average people, the way that they make you feel. And then detox. Eat clean, drink clean, lots of water. Detox from alcohol, substances, and processed food. But I think too, this is like an ego detox. This is about having a healthy ego and removing the toxic influence of the ego in your life. You can also do a physical representation of that by detoxing in some kind of dietary way, or like getting a good sweat or something like a sweat lodge, or going to a sauna. Okay, your perspective or our perspective that's affecting the situation right now. Don't say anything yet. So the thing, timing's not quite there. Let's see, they won't be able to hear you yet. Their heart is not open. You may change your mind. Don't have all the information yet. So back to this, there's still a little bit of work and things being moved. So the perspective that's kind of like hanging over you right now and your subconscious belief is that maybe things are better left unsaid. And maybe thinking that they're better left unsaid and the perspective that things are better left unsaid, maybe that's what's slowing a situation down. Maybe that's the negative belief. Maybe the scarcity mode is thinking that everything's better left unsaid, so you better not. And then the perspective that you're carrying around is like, yeah, I shouldn't say anything. It's not a good time. And then that could be related to a father wound, right? Don't bother dad. Not a good time. Better left unsaid. Just cooperate. Be sweet. Love Jesus. Be quiet. Be passive. So yeah, again, this is about checking in with yourself. Are you the kind of person where you want to pop off and it'd be easy for you to give somebody the fucking business and tell them your truth? Maybe then you should leave it unsaid. But if you're scared to speak your truth and you're always holding back and you're like, yeah, I'll just not say anything, then maybe this Gemini energy is helping you be able to clearly communicate what you need to. But not from an egotistical point of view, and not from a triggered point of view, and not from a scarcity mindset, but from an empowered mindset. Okay, what are the other people's influence on you right now? I feel like it's time to juggle. Task juggling, multiple jobs or clients, side hustles, balance life and work. So yeah, the outer influence on you right now is just juggling a lot. You may have parts of your life that are overlapping into others. And so what's affecting you right now is just learning how to juggle everything. I haven't made a video in like 1 or 2 days because I have had just like busy work and like social life stuff. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm not gonna like go around bemoaning myself for like skipping a video because I had social things to do and work obligations. Because the whole point of wanting to have a channel is to have more freedom and be able to live a life that I want to create and have some flexibility. And so, yes, YouTube does demand consistency. However, I know with certainty that the creator is my source of exposure in the algorithm at the end of the day. And so if I am in scarcity mode going, I can never take a day off, I can never take a day off, it's like I'm white knuckle controlling the outcome everywhere, right? Where are you white knuckle controlling the outcome everywhere? Where is this going? What is this gonna be leading to? What am I getting out of this? It's like, you know what? Have fun. Just juggle the things the best you can. But yeah, it may not be very compartmentalized right now. It may be a little bit plaid. So yeah, learn to juggle on a unicycle. But you know, it's just, there's a lot going on. And you know, in life, if we want to have a full life, if we want to be whole and complete, there's going to be a lot of things to juggle all the time. Family, friends, work, our own personal time to ourselves, you know? So yeah, you could also feel kind of juggled in someone's, you know, schedule or within the grand scheme of a group activity. You know, you could feel like you're having to be very adaptable right now. Gemini is very adaptable. It's very quick, can bounce around. So it's, you know, pretty happy to be flexible. So just think about that. Our hopes and fears, you're going in circles. So a negative pattern is coming up, cycles, stuck in a loop, repeating the same mistake. It's time for a new story. So I'm going to pull one more card on that. So something about in our hopes and fears. And I think it's more to do with our fears. So our fears are causing us to go in circles, where our fears are triggering our negative patterns, our negative cycles. We're stuck in a loop, repeating the same old mistake, the same story, that because my father treated me this way, that now everyone is just going to, right? That's what we're overcoming. We're going in circles. We're having the same, you know, pattern show up again and again and again so that we can overcome this, so we can leave that completely. So we can get over that scarcity mode, but that's what the way our fears are affecting our goals right now. It's just sending us in circles. Okay, so what about our goals? What about our wishes? So that's talking about our fears. Oh, there's a card that flipped over, but I don't know if I'll recognize it because everyone's... Yeah, they're all facing the same way. Come on, one more for our wishes. Oh wait, I think that was it. Facing, oh my God, facing fears. So on the nose. Okay, so what do we need to know about our wishes in regards to our fears? Facing fears. Facing fucking fears. So we're going in circles because we're avoiding just facing our fear. So where are your limiting beliefs that are putting you in effect consciousness because of your father wound? How is that creating so much fear in your life that you're scared to take a risk, you're scared to put yourself out there, you're scared to face these fears once and for all, and because of that, you're just going in circles, So what is it? What is that fear that you're avoiding? Walk right into it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And, you know, people who are super successful, they choose quickly, they make quick decisions, and they're slow to change. So they make their decisions based on an instinct, and then they go all in until they know that it's a fail. There's no more to be had here. This is not going anywhere. And then they readjust. They don't sit there. It's like people who aren't successful struggle to make decisions. And then when they do make the decisions, then they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm going to change my mind and do that instead. I don't know. I don't know. I'm feeling uncertain. I need to take an action that completely uproots the stability that I was almost just establishing. Do you see what I'm saying? So don't let your fears prompt you into the same old cycles again and again and again. New experiences are coming, new stories. Okay, and then our final outcome right now, what can we expect? Ooh, creation phase 1. Okay, so there are desires, dreams. There's also illusions, fantasies, ideas, passive desire. So there's seed level of sparks going on right now, but there's not like a hardcore, all right, I'm all in kind of attitude yet. So we're in the sparks stage. This is the first bit of that creator light coming in, like eureka, like coming in through the crown. Desire, dream, illusion, fantasy, idea, passive desire, receive without earning. So when we get something without earning it, it's like we don't really appreciate it as much. And it creates a concept called bread of shame. And we resent what we're being given because it's just like, it's too much, you know? And so if you have a tikkun on the side of mercy, as opposed to the side of judgment, then you dial back your overgiving. But if you have a tikkun of judgment versus mercy, then you need to dial back your self-serving selfishness, right? Okay, so not willing to do the work, unclear desire, unfulfilled, not yearning or craving, wanting but not willing to make the effort yet. And this card says yet underlined. Hoping the creator brings it to me or does it for me. Vague desire, self-doubt, justification, comfort, mediocrity. So yes, if something is given to you, you have something that has no real connection. Earning value, appreciation because no vessel. Oh, passive receiving. Interest but not real yet. No action taken, no manifestation, no fullness. So yeah, something that's like, it's exciting, but it's in phase 1. It hasn't been really taken into the next step yet. And there could be many reasons. There's like a lot of self-doubt right here, right now. We're still sort of in this fog and we're getting our motivation back, but maybe it's just like we're still not quite clear. And so Gemini is going to help us get more clear and intentional. It's like, where are we going? Get out of creation phase 1 into creation phase 2. Because ultimately we want to be in creation phase 4, the fulfillment of the manifestation. Okay, let's clarify with a few of the Modern Witch Tarot cards. So what do we, give us a vibe for the next month? Because the new moon seed level energy it goes throughout the month. It's not just for the waxing phase. Okay, everything is fine. Oh my gosh, I love this. So in the Modern Witch Tarot, there's 2 versions of the Ten of Swords. One of the Ten of Swords is like, you know, it's the same depiction of a woman who's just like scrolling through her phone, stabbed with 10 swords, and just, oh my God, so tired. This is the end of a very, very, very difficult cycle of mindsets, of ego patterns. You know, the swords are thoughts, communication, ideas. So stress, the things that we worried about that kept us feeling unconfident and uncertain and not focused. Difficulties and trials and tribulations. It's all just come to an end and we're feeling a little bit like this, but everything is fine. And so this is going to be clarifying why we're in creation phase 1 with a passive desire, not willing to do the work yet. Like we see what we want and we're like, yeah, but like I don't know, I don't have it in me quite right now. It's because you're just coming out of a hard, difficult cycle, or we all are, right? I mean, I know in a way I feel like exhausted right now, and yet so excited. But yeah, everything is fine. Nothing to worry about. The end of this cycle that just culminated is the beginning of a new one. And so don't let anything really worry you right now and put you going in circles in fear and scarcity. Just know everything's fine. It's just the end of a difficult cycle. You know, you're tired, you've got 10 swords in you. It'll be okay. You just need a minute. You need a bath. Okay, what else? Ooh, okay. We have 9 of Cups. So this portends the wishes come true. 9 of Cups is the suit of hopes and love and relationships and, you know, bliss and feeling. And so, yeah, we're at the end of a difficult cycle, which the Ten of Swords is the exact opposite of Nine of Cups. Ten of Cups is absolute fulfillment. This is absolute devastation. So yeah, it's like, yeah, we are in a Ten of Swordsy energy right now, just like I'm coming to the end of the cycle, just feeling like, oh my God, I'm dead. I'm more dead than dead. But really, like everything's fine. Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups is harmonious bliss. We've arrived in paradise. Nine of Cups is like, yeah, your wish is granted. You may not see it yet, but it's there. It's coming. Your wish is on the way. So everything is fine. Everything's gonna be great. Your wish is coming true. Just don't get too uptight right now. Don't get in a state of scarcity mindedness, because then you're gonna close yourself off and you're gonna hold back and you're gonna be all tight, and the universe isn't gonna be able to flow because you're gonna be a closed channel. You're gonna be an open vessel. And that takes self-worth, and it takes trust and certainty. Okay, Five of Swords. So Five of Swords is like an energy of being competitive and maybe winning, but at what cost, right? And so going against these patterns, these ego patterns, right? It's like, yeah, there might be a lot of methods and roads to getting what you want, but like, is it worth it? Like, are you really winning if you have, like damaged things along the way, or at the expense of something else or others, right? Is it worth it in the end? So yeah, this is just about being insensitive or being, competitive with people to the degree that it's just too much, or like kind of like bullying, or not playing fair, or not playing nice. But yeah, hurt feelings and just like having like, it's my way or the highway kind of thing. Okay, and then one more card for this new moon in Gemini. Ooh, Five of Cups reversed. Okay, so Five of Cups upright is like, oh my God, bemoaning, misery, despair, all is lost. Oh, it's all ruined. It's all spilt into the river. I believe that Five of Cups reversed is actually a turn for the better. It's like, yes, things have happened and things have gone, but actually things are really kind of starting to turn around. And so this is sort of like drying out all of the emotions, the spilled milk, and like sitting here with it for a minute, but everything's going to be fine. It may have felt like you lost everything that you wanted, but things are actually turning around. And it's just, you have to let yourself move through that energy. Don't deny it, don't repress it, but also don't, like, let it process, let it digest. I'm just gonna refer to the Tarot Princess real quick to make sure I didn't miss anything about that. Okay, coming back. This outfit today reminds me of the movie Romancing the Stone, where Kathleen Turner goes down to the Central American jungle to like get her sister who's been taken hostage. And it's a romance, like a romantic adventure movie. But she ends up like traveling in like, this like kind of travel-y outfit like this, but then she ends up like having to go through the jungle with like kitten heels on, and like she ends up like ripping her shirt and like tying it all, and like, oh, fabric's always getting used for like, bandages and things in movies. But this feels very much like I was traveling, my bus broke down, I had to take up with a stranger, and now I'm like using a machete to like cut my way through a strange jungle. That was my mood today. Okay, so Five of Cups reversed is things are now looking better. You have the courage to see things through. Courage will blossom from broken dreams. Life is not what it seems. There is hope. It is not the end, but an opportunity for a new beginning. Could be happy news. A get together with an old friend or loved one. It would be good to consider a new home or working environment. Don't be afraid to start building new ideas and plans. You have learned well from past experience. So, yes, whatever's developing right now, it may not be clear. We may be kind of worried about it. We may be dealing with like just the confusion of things coming in quickly after things have come by and like news cycles beginning. And it all feels like so much, and that's why this year is like, it's not like we're always like, oh, I want everything to be like awesome and everything to be here now. And it's like, we can't take it all at once. That's why this year is like awakening us and turning us on in stages, right? For this new version of ourselves. Okay, we are gonna pull a card from the Moonology deck, see what our moon card is for the Gemini new moon. What does the moon have to say to us to guide us through this for the next 2 weeks, but this whole month, really? Ooh, okay. Ooh, a personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. So that's really funny because as I was putting the cards back in 2 weeks ago during our full moon workshop, one of our cards was an issue or a situation is close to an exciting climactic culmination or something like that. So yeah, there's something going on that maybe has been kind of going on for a minute, but it was almost like it's coming to culmination the last couple of weeks. Well, over the next couple of weeks and over the next month, you're gonna have a lot more clarity around the situation because it reaches a resolution. And you'll know more then. But right now, it's just like you have to be willing to just take a risk and follow your heart and your intuition and go against your fear of what your ego is trying to hold you back from. Because even though there's a purpose for us and a direction for our life and a calling on it, and the soul is always trying to help us get there, and our angels are always helping us get there, and our, all of our heavenly hosts and spiritual help are always trying to help us get there. If we ask them, we have free will, they can't interrupt, right? But there is also an equal and opposing force who doesn't care about our free will, who doesn't care about, whether or not we ask. And it's always trying to prevent us from getting to that highest good. It's like the bad guy in a video game. So, just keep that in mind as you are moving through your life and you have these things that are happening and triggering your reactivity and your effect consciousness. Just think, okay, something's trying to keep me from my ultimate unfoldment just as much as I'm trying to get to my ultimate unfoldment. So use your prayers to combat that energy. Okay, so 5 of Cups. Is coming out, and I feel like it was still reversed because I just did this. So another 5 of Cups reversed again. There's been heartbreak. There has been disappointment in the past. There has been so much that we've come through and gone through and learned from, but we can't hold on to all that baggage anymore and go on into a new cycle and into a new life. Or we're going to be carrying the old patterns and the old projections and the old assumptions. So you really have to put the past behind you to move forward. And again, if you need to, rewind me reading the page about 5 of Cups reversed. All right, now we will pull from the Mermaids and Dolphins to see what we need to know for our manifestations and our dreams and our goals for this month. Ooh, consult an expert. More information is needed. Contact someone with expertise in this area. So you may need to find a coach or a person who's done what you want to do, who's honed in the plan, the step-by-step plan. So we had this kind of come up recently, and I think that maybe it was during our recent manifestation reading. But it's about finding a mentor, going and consulting someone who's done what you've done, getting some advice, but more information is needed. So I am going to have to look into how to publish an oracle deck, right? That's one of the things that I want to do right now. So I need to consult experts about that. I need to, take some time to hone in on things that will give me an advantage in the YouTube algorithm. right? I need to just look back to see, to refresh, okay, the newest changes, like what will help me get out in the search bar or whatever, in the search engine. So yeah, consult an expert. You don't have to do it all alone. And you know, it's like there's people out there that the universe will send you with like a great idea, and you don't have to take everything they say. You can just consider what they have to share. Waves of prosperity, new abundance, and exciting opportunities are washing over you now. Yay! So excited. So very Jupiter and Taurus energy. New abundance, new excitement, a new resurgence of optimism and enthusiasm and just love of life. Let it wash in, right? Don't have a sense of foreboding joy. Don't be like, oh, the rug's gonna rip out any minute. Like, what if it is? Are you gonna spend your whole life never doing anything because you were like, well, what if it doesn't go perfectly and last forever? So I'm just gonna sit in a fucking padded cell in a straitjacket because nothing ever lasts forever and nothing is ever perfect. So get out there, experience new things, be in a state of happiness and magnetism, and then the universe will send you abundance. Okay, what else do we need to know? Okay, simplify your life. Eliminate clutter from your home and work life to balance the flow of activities. So yes, eliminate extra clutter, clean your space. Feng Shui is a real thing. Every time I declutter, I have like things coming in because the universe loves a void. I took a mirror that had been in the back of my car for like weeks and weeks and weeks out and took it to the dump because it was like kind of broken and it wasn't like going to be refurbishable like I thought. It didn't fit the space. So it was like just in there for weeks because I had to go to the recycling center. And when I finally did get that out of my car, I said to myself the other day, I was like, oh, I really want some gold leaf frames. I need to like manifest some, or maybe I'll just go look around for them at a thrift store. And I was just thinking like it'd be easier if I could just manifest some. And like within one day, I had a work meeting to go to, and my nephew works at the same place that I do, and he was like, hey, I've got a big gold frame for you. I'm bringing it to the meeting. It was like this piece of art my mom had given him from my room to him and his wife for their house from like a couple of years ago, and then recently they were like, we're getting rid of some things, and somebody mentioned that you were wanting frames, and I was like, oh my god. So yeah, simplify your life, because the moment you remove something better or something that you want is going to come in its place. But like planes can't land in gates that are full of planes. Okay, now one last word from the mermaids and dolphins the next month. Boy. Okay, contemplation time. Spend time alone meditating upon what you truly desire. So the Geminis are very powerful manifestors because they have vivid imaginations and because they're good at communicating. So think about your desire, ruminate on it, and get really clear about what it is so that you're in that feeling state, but then start declaring it, start praying about it, but get really, spend enough time in contemplation and stillness so that you can at least tune in and like think and reflect and dream about what it is that you're calling in. Because it's like when we're just go, even when we're putting all that energy into creating the dream, it falls flat because we become disconnected from our reason why we want the thing to begin with. And we don't have any, like even with my goals, my creative goals, my side hustle projects, it's like when I get to work about it, then they lose their romance, they lose their fun, their fulfillment, their enjoyment. So it's like you got to keep it fun and lovey for yourself, exciting, passionate, and that will keep you that will get you towards creation phase 4. But without that passion, without that feeling, without that focus, you're just in creation phase 1 with like a vague desire and no real ability to like make it happen yet. Okay, now let's check in with our romance angels to see what our love life's gonna be looking like. Honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So this is like summertime, right? Solstice is coming up this week. Enjoy summertime, summer vacation with people. Have hot girl summer. Be flirty. Be out there, having a fun time. But, nothing about honeymoon says this. Forcing your agenda because your ego can't take fun or being lighthearted, right? It's too afraid. It needs to know, right? I need my agenda. No. Have fun. Be in bliss. I love this, like Venice, Italy. The gondola here, the boat, it reminds me of the boat from the Six of Wands, or the Six of Swords card, where you're moving on from a difficult situation. So yeah, enjoy. Okay. Any fall in there? Nope. Okay, getting to know one another. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. All right, so have a good time. Just get to know people and don't be in a rush. Just really enjoy the moment. Be present. Don't worry so much about the end result. Just get to know each other. True love is in this clump. This is the romance of a lifetime. It's also a lesson you're meant to repeat. And this personal issue is going to come to culmination soon. So yeah, just who knows if it's the romance of a lifetime. But you know what? You are the only person you're going to spend a lifetime with. You're the only person who can build the romance of a lifetime with you, right? You're the same person that goes into every relationship. So give yourself the romance of a lifetime. And I know that sounds silly and oh yeah, self-care, whatever. But honestly, I've been single for the last 2 years and I haven't really had a strong urgency to try really hard to date or get on dating apps or anything. And people have asked me out and stuff, but it's just I don't know, I've just been But I have had such a romantic couple of years together with myself. Because it's we are having such a fun time and I'm following things in life that give me a sense of romance and fun and excitement, and I'm surrounding myself with that energy all the time, keeping my own love tank full. So just cultivate true love in yourself and start to understand what that is, because the ego's version of love gets us to this situation. What do I want? And it doesn't matter what you want. I have an agenda. And so I'm going to use my beguiling tactics and, strategies to get what I want without ever really getting to know you, without ever considering, if this is what you want or if this is what's best for both of us or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Even going after a job hardcore without really considering. So yes, understand what even true love is so that it's even possible. Playfulness. Free yourself. Be free. You are kind of pinned in right now to this sort of holding back, right? And it's fear, it's scarcity, it's worrying oh, what if this is just going to be another lesson again that's going to be like my dad wound. And so it makes you afraid and it tenses you up. And then, that's what's sending you around in circles. And so, yeah, have fun. Don't take everything so seriously. It's time to play. It's time to be flirty and enjoy the summer. It's all this energy is just free yourself. Be free. This is an issue of keeping your love tank full. And when your love tank is full, then it will overflow and it will just create more of the same. Okay, and then let's get advice from Mother Mary, Jesus' mom. A little piece of motherly advice here. All right, Mary, what do you want to say to us? Okay, family and faith. I pray for my family and give the situation over to God for answers, support, and healing. So whatever may be going on in your family, or maybe that's your family, maybe it's the community of people that you choose to surround yourself with. However, whatever it is, just whatever issues you have with them, father healing, whatever's coming up. My timer went off, I've got to get changed for work. But just give it to heaven, incorporate heaven to help you with this. And then faith. I have faith in God to heal the situation. So whatever it is that you need to heal with your father, pray about it, pray out loud, you know, and ask that it helps you within the themes of Venus too, your love and money, because your father wound has affected your self-worth. So that's what we need to heal in order to have an abundant love life and financial life. And then last word is from Jesus. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Peace, you guys, peace. Don't be worried. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. And I leave you with that. Peace, you guys. Good luck this month. I will see y'all later tonight for our energy oracle forecast for the week. Ciao.